You finally hit $750,000. Your net worth crossed a number that most people only dream about. You should be celebrating. You should be feeling secure. But instead, something strange happens. A quiet panic sets in. A dangerous overconfidence takes over. And statistically, this is the exact moment where most wealth-building journeys fall completely apart. Today, I am going to show you exactly why $750,000 is one of the most dangerous financial milestones you can hit, what psychological and behavioral traps are waiting for you at this level, and more importantly, how to be one of the 10% who actually makes it through to the other side. Let me start with a story. Marcus spent 14 years building his net worth from zero to $750,000. He worked 2 jobs in his late 20s, lived below his means for over a decade, maxed out his retirement accounts every single year, and made smart, boring, consistent investment decisions. He was disciplined. He was focused. He was proud. And then he hit $750,000 and everything changed. Within 18 months, Marcus had lost $340,000, not from a market crash, not from bad luck, from his own decisions. Decisions that felt completely rational at the time. Decisions that almost every person makes when they hit this exact number. So what happened to Marcus? And what is happening to the millions of people who fall into the same trap every single year? The first trap is called arrival syndrome. When you hit $750,000, your brain does something it was never designed to handle. It tells you that you have arrived. For years, every financial decision you made was driven by scarcity thinking. You said no to vacations. You said no to expensive cars. You said no to lifestyle upgrades because your brain kept reminding you that you were not there yet. But at $750,000, the internal narrative shifts. You start thinking you have earned the right to enjoy your money. And you have. Nobody is saying you should suffer forever. But the problem is that arrival syndrome does not come with a volume dial. It comes as a flood. Marcus bought a $95,000 car within 3 months of hitting $750,000. He told himself he deserved it. He was not wrong that he deserved nice things. He was wrong about the timing and the cost.
The second trap is lifestyle creep on steroids. You have probably heard about lifestyle creep before. Spend a little more as you earn a little more. But what happens at $750,000 is not gradual creep. It is a lifestyle explosion. Because now you are not just spending more on small things. You are making large, permanent financial commitments based on a number that feels secure but actually is not. People at this milestone start buying bigger homes. They start taking on mortgages that stretch their actual cash flow. They start private school tuitions for their kids. They start country club memberships. They start business class flights as a default. Each of these decisions feels justified because $750,000 sounds like a lot. But here's the math that nobody talks about. At a 4% withdrawal rate, $750,000 generates $30,000 per year. That's $2,500 per month. And suddenly, your new lifestyle is costing you $8,000 or $10,000 per month. The gap between your wealth and your spending becomes a canyon. The third trap is the investment ego trap. This one is silent and brutal. After years of disciplined, boring investing, reaching $750,000 gives people a dangerous sense of financial intelligence. They start believing that their success was not just about consistency and time. They start believing it was about skill. And once they believe they have skill, they start making skill-based bets. Marcus moved $200,000 into a private equity deal that his golf buddy recommended. He put $50,000 into a friend's restaurant startup. He started picking individual stocks and trading options because at $750,000, losing $10,000 on a trade does not feel as painful as it used to. The percentage feels smaller, even though the absolute dollar amount is enormous. This is called proportional blindness, and it destroys wealth faster than almost any other behavior.
The fourth trap is the delegation disaster. When people hit $750,000, they often decide they need professional help managing their money. This is actually smart thinking. The execution is where it goes wrong. In a rush to feel like they have upgraded their financial life to match their new status, people hire the wrong advisors. They get charmed by wealth management firms that charge 1.5% or 2% annually. They do not realize that on $750,000, a 1.5% fee is $11,250 per year that is leaving your portfolio regardless of performance. Over 20 years, with compounding, that fee structure can cost you over $400,000 in lost wealth. They also become vulnerable to advisors who sense their arrival syndrome and pitch complex products, annuities, whole life insurance, structured products, things that pay the advisor enormous commissions and give the client mediocre returns. The fifth trap is tax blindness. Most people who build wealth slowly do it through tax-advantaged accounts. But at $750,000, the decisions become more complex and the tax consequences become more expensive. People make sudden portfolio changes without thinking about capital gains. They take money out of retirement accounts to fund business ventures without calculating the tax hit. They invest in ways that generate significant taxable income without having a strategy to offset it. Marcus pulled $150,000 from his IRA to fund that private equity deal. After federal taxes, state taxes, and the early withdrawal penalty, he received about $95,000. He lost $55,000 to taxes before the investment even had a chance to fail. Now let me tell you what the 10% do differently. The 10% treat $750,000 as a checkpoint, not a finish line. They sit down with actual math and calculate how far they actually are from genuine financial independence. They do not let the emotional weight of a large number distort their logical understanding of what that number actually produces. The 10% create a written lifestyle budget before they change anything. Before buying the car, before upgrading the house, before joining the club, they run actual numbers. They ask whether their current savings rate can sustain this new expense indefinitely. If the answer is no, they find a version of the reward that fits.
The 10% understand that at $750,000, you are in the most dangerous phase of wealth building, not the safest. You have enough money to make catastrophic mistakes. You do not yet have enough to fully recover from them. The person with $50,000 who makes a bad investment loses $50,000. The person with $750,000 who makes bad decisions in an 18-month window can lose $300,000, $400,000, or more. And at that stage of life, time is no longer fully on your side. The 10% also understands sequencing risk. This is particularly critical if you are within 10 to 15 years of retirement. The order of returns matters enormously. A bad sequence of investment returns combined with increased spending in your mid to late 50s can permanently derail a retirement plan that looked completely solid on paper. The 10% hire fee-only fiduciary advisors, not commission-based, not percentage of assets if the portfolio is large enough that flat fees make more sense. They treat advisor selection with the same rigor they applied to building their wealth in the first place. And finally, the 10% protect the psychological systems that got them to $750,000. They know that discipline is a habit, and habits are fragile. They deliberately maintain some of the financial behaviors from their wealth-building years, even when they start to feel unnecessary. They keep reviewing their net worth monthly. They keep saying no to expenses that do not align with their actual values. They keep the identity of someone who is building wealth, not just someone who has it. Here is the truth about $750,000. It is an incredible achievement. It represents years of sacrifice and smart decisions. But the market does not care about your past discipline. The economy does not reward you for what you used to do. And your future wealth is entirely determined by what you do from this moment forward. The trap is real. The statistics are real. And the stories of people who lost it all from this exact milestone are real. But so are the stories of people who used $750,000 as the foundation for $2 million, $5 million, and generational wealth. The only difference between those two groups is awareness. Now you have it.